Welcome back to Unforgettable Crafts. My name is Rebekah. I am your host today in my lovely kitchen. We are going to put together some air diffusers. So they're hanging air diffusers. This is what they look like when they have nothing in them. And what they do is you hang them up, tie this down, whatever length you need it to be, and it can go on your car rear view mirror, it can go in your closet, it can hang anywhere in your house to make something smell delicious. So when you open the lid here, there's the hole which we're going to enter the fragrance oil and reed diffuser oil into, and then they have these little plugs here. So that'll be inside of it when the client or customer gets it from you. So you pop that down in so it doesn't leak. When they get it, they're going to pull that out, of course. And then they're going to put this lid back on. And what happens is the fragrance oil goes into this wood and sits inside of it. So you're going to tip it for just a little millisecond. And it's going to get a little wet right there on the top. It doesn't take very long at all. My first time doing it, I soaked this thing. I thought it was going to take a lot longer, so don't be like me. Anyway, we're going to make 4 different types today. So we have the siren. So this is our first time making our fragrance line in the diffusers. So we have the siren, the light of hope, the gentleman, and the caffeinated bee. So I'm making 4. These are going to be our first 4 in this line. Well, I'm sorry, that's not true. I made the sweetheart and the dapper chap last night. So these are the next 4. So we have our first line of 6 total. Sorry, I didn't mean to lie. Anyway, I have the reed diffuser in the right amount and the fragrance oil of choice in each one of these canisters ready to go. What I like to use here is a syringe. This is a 20 milliliter syringe. And this right here is just a catheter off of an IV. So I got rid of the IV in a sharps container and all that jazz. But this is just the catheter. It's very flexible, so it can go into the jar, soak up the fluid, into our 20 milliliter syringe. And we did get these at the Tractor Supply, actually, where we did a farmer's market recently. So I have those set up for each one. And we're going to go ahead and get these tops off and line them up. Squeaky things. Okay, now they're all ready. I have 15 of each fragrance, and I'm gonna go ahead and start. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this little guy over to my small weigh station here. I'm gonna steal my fragrance, this is a siren. And I'm going to draw this up. Now it draws up, I guess medium in how much pressure you're gonna have to pull. It's not like glucose. If you've ever had to draw up a vial of glucose, it is a pain in the rear. So it's not heavy, but it's about medium. And what this holds is 8 milliliters or 0.27 ounces. So I'm gonna start pouring this in. Sometimes it does get a little air bubble in there or two, so just beware of that. And make sure, if you're making these, you are going inside the circle and paying attention how far in this little guy is. Because if your catheter comes out, that could be a problem for you. And we're gonna do it again. And if the catheter hits the wall, it'll tell you that you're higher than you are because it's giving extra weight. So just be cautious when you're making your own, if you choose to do so. Now there are recommendations from the government that tells you a percentage of an amount that you are or should put inside of a diffuser, and you can look at that on the documents to see what percentage each fragrance is allowed to go in there. And each company, each vendor that you get these fragrances from has to have that sheet for you to compare and contrast how much you can put in there. Normally it's up to 20% for most fragrances. So this base that I'm using here is 80% and my fragrance is 20%. And I pre-calculated that yesterday. Okay, so that is how we do these. Now I'm going to push this down in here for the moment, and I'm going to show you the next step in this game. So the next step, where did I put those things? There they are. I hid them. Okay, so here's those tops, and it slips down in here, and it is kind of painful after you do a few, but listen for that click. 3 clicks in, and it's flush. And then you put on the cap, like so, and then we're gonna move a little bit over here. Move this out of the light so you can see. And Mr. Unforgettable went ahead and printed these out for me. Created them first and then printed them. And then we put this right in the center, hopefully, of our bottle. Then we have our, I didn't grab them. We have a informational card. It's like a business card that tells you how to care for your air diffuser. And I'm going to put that in the bag in just a minute, but here's how I put these on. I stick it on and then I slowly roll it to try to get all the air bubbles out. And this has all the information about the siren. Tells you that it is a car diffuser air freshener. It's hand poured in small batches, the size, our company's website, and a warning that also tells you that we're not responsible for any damage caused by spillage, because these are oils and they can get into your car or spill out at some point if you're not cautious. Now these are smell-proof bags, which I love, especially for people that have allergens, etc., that are walking past our booth. And then I'm going to take this little guy and I'm going to put it in there, like so. And then my card will be behind it. And then I also put this on the front, which says what exactly is in here. So it's the same kind of information, but a smaller amount of it. I do the 3 top notes that I feel people are going to be interested in or might smell first, to help understand what kind of a smell they're going to be getting from that. So that is what it looks like in the end. And we are going to continue doing this until all of these are complete. Here is the car diffuser instructions. I actually purchased this off of Amazon. I was gonna make my own, but it was cheaper to do it this way for now because I was trying out the air diffusers to see if they were popular or not. And I did it with 4 randomized scents that we named Maggie Valley, Space Coast, Smoky Mountains, and Isla Morada. And so those were a hit, so we decided to make them in our regular fragrance lineup, and that is what we're doing today. So I'll put this in our bag here, and this one is ready to be sold. So pretty. I like it. All right. Well, it's been about an hour, so maybe 2. I'm not really sure. We've ate dinner, so my tummy is now happy and full. But we're back over here. We bagged up every single one. We have our Light of Hope, which is rose petals, jasmine, and bergamot. We have our Gentleman, which is suede, hickory, and leather. We made our Siren, which is coconut, pistachio, and salted caramel, but it has a beachy smell, so figure that one out. It's really yummy. We have our Caffeinated Bee, which is espresso, honey, and an oatmeal milk. And then the last two that I talked about earlier, we had made yesterday. This is the Dapper Chap. Is rosewood, leather, and patchouli. And we have the Sweetheart, which is peach, gardenia, and strawberry. So this is our new lineup for our air diffusers, our hanging air diffusers. Again, you can put them in your car, you can put them in your garage, you can put them out in your kitchen, wherever you prefer them to be. And we really enjoyed ours. My husband had one in his vehicle, and we put it about half full, just trying to test it out. And that half full had lasted over 8 weeks. So it does last a really long time, which is really, really nice. We're gonna test these out, see how long they last next, just because they're different. And yeah. Oh, that's the thing I wanted to tell you about. So I've heard different stories, so I'm not sure which one's true. I prefer to go with the latter. So the first one is that once you put these together, they are ready to go. They're at their height fragrance. The other story I've heard is that you want to wait about 7 days before the fragrance is cured, has mixed really well with your base, and that it's at its peak in about 7 days. So I prefer that story. Let me know what you guys have had history with, if you've made your own. And if you're going to make some, let me know. Tell me how they go. So anyway, I hope you had an enjoyable time with us learning how to make air diffusers. If you have any questions, comments, suggestions, opposing viewpoints, put them down in the comments. And please visit us at www.unforgettablecrafts.store. Visit that area, see what you can find. There's all kinds of things hiding in the areas that I haven't talked about yet on any video or on any social media post. So see what you can find on our website. There's lots of discounts on there too. I hope you have a phenomenal rest of your day.